In a world full of noise, the real power is built in silence. While others chase attention, you chase results. No need to announce your moves. Let your work speak so loud, it drowns out the doubt. This is your reminder. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. Just focus, grind, and stay silent. Because when the results show, they won't ask questions. They'll just respect the outcome. Chapter 1. Silence is a superpower. Silence is often misunderstood. People think if you're quiet, you're weak or lost. But the truth is, silence is power under control. When you don't speak, you observe. When you observe, you learn. And when you learn, you grow. Real strength is not shown in how loud you speak. It's shown in how focused you are when no one's watching. The loudest people often have the least to show. They seek attention before they earn results. But those who understand silence know this. It's better to let your actions speak for you. When you're silent, no one knows your next move. And that's when you're most dangerous. Because silence creates mystery, and mystery creates power. In a world full of noise, silence becomes rare. Everyone wants to be seen. Everyone wants to be heard. But those who are building in private know the truth. Growth happens away from the spotlight. You don't need validation to win. You just need to focus on your goal. Stay disciplined and move without broadcasting every step. Silence gives you space to think clearly. When you're not distracted by noise, opinions, or pressure to perform, you make smarter choices. You listen to your inner voice instead of the world's expectations. That's where real confidence is born, not from praise, but from self-trust built in silence. Those who master silence don't react to every insult or challenge. They stay calm. They move smarter. They know reacting gives away power. But when you're silent, you stay in control. You don't waste energy proving your worth. You keep building. You keep improving. You let success handle the talking. You'll notice that real leaders, the ones who truly succeed, don't brag. They don't announce their next move. They operate in silence, then let their work speak. Because results don't lie, and once the work is done, no one can deny the outcome, even if they never saw it coming. So protect your energy, guard your plans, stay silent in your process. Let people doubt you, let them assume. While they talk, you build. And when the time is right, your silence will explode into results so loud, no words will be needed. Chapter 2. Let your work speak louder than your words. Talk is cheap. Anyone can say they're working hard. Anyone can claim they want success. But the ones who actually win are the ones too busy working to talk about it. When your work is real, you don't need to convince anyone. Your results will speak louder than any words ever could. Let people wonder what you're up to, and then let your success answer every question. Your actions create proof. While others try to impress with words, your consistency builds undeniable evidence. Words can be ignored, but results can't be erased. A person who talks too much usually has less to show. But someone who keeps showing up, keeps improving, and keeps pushing silently becomes impossible to ignore. Letting your work speak doesn't mean staying invisible. It means staying focused. You're not hiding, you're preparing. You're not silent because you lack confidence. You're silent because you're building something powerful. And when it's time, your growth will be so clear that no explanation will be needed. Words are temporary, but your work creates legacy. People forget what you say, but they remember what you build. Whether it's your business, your mindset, or your life, build something that speaks for you long after you're done talking. Let your dedication be louder than your opinions. Many waste time defending their dreams with words. But the strongest defense is execution. Let your results become your response. Every early morning, every late night, every sacrifice, let it stack in silence. And when the time is right, let your progress do the speaking. It will be more powerful than anything you could say. You don't need to announce your every move. That only gives people a chance to doubt you. Let them see nothing until they see everything. Let them think you've slowed down. Then show them you've leveled up. Surprise is a powerful tool when combined with consistent, quiet work. Your value increases when your results speak for themselves. People listen more when they see proof. And when they see how far you've come without begging for attention, they'll respect you without you ever asking. Let your work build that reputation, not your words. When you focus on proving yourself through action, you stop needing approval. You don't need applause to feel worthy. You don't need attention to feel alive. Your work gives you confidence. Your discipline becomes your identity, and your silence becomes the loudest voice in the room. Chapter 3. Move in silence. They'll notice the results. The most powerful moves are made quietly. You don't need to broadcast your goals to the world. Keep them private. Protect them. Let your daily actions build silently, so that when your time comes, your results speak so loudly that no introduction is needed. Moving in silence gives you the advantage. No one can sabotage what they don't see. No one can slow down what they don't know is in motion. When you work in silence, your energy stays pure. You're not building for approval, you're building for purpose. Most people fail because they talk more than they act. They waste energy proving, explaining, announcing. But the ones who win, they move in shadows. They train when no one claps. They sacrifice without showing off. And when they arrive, they shock everyone who doubted them. There's strength in mystery. When people don't know your next step, they can't interfere. While they're busy guessing, you're already miles ahead. Silence is your shield. It keeps you focused and keeps distractions away. It's not hiding, it's protecting your mission. Silence helps you sharpen your discipline. You don't need to perform for anyone. You wake up early, stay consistent, and push forward not for applause, but for the future you're building. You're not trying to impress the world. You're trying to become someone you're proud of. Every win looks bigger when no one saw the work behind it. That's what makes silent effort so powerful. You don't need a spotlight to be great. You just need patience, focus, and a quiet grind that never quits. Let your breakthrough be your announcement. People will start noticing your glow before they notice your grind. They'll ask, "How did you do it?" And you won't need to say much. Your results will tell the story. That's the power of silent progress. It turns every room you walk into a reminder of what quiet dedication looks like. It's tempting to share your goals for validation, but validation fades fast. When you move in silence, you learn to validate yourself. You become your own source of motivation. And that kind of power can't be shaken, because it wasn't built on other people's opinions. The ones who truly grow are too busy building to brag. They don't need noise. They don't need attention. They just stay locked in. And the moment they step forward, it's not noise they bring. It's undeniable proof that speaks louder than words ever could. So stay quiet, stay sharp, stay committed, move in silence and let the world guess what you're up to, until the results make it impossible to ignore you. Chapter 4. Attention is a distraction. The desire for attention is one of the biggest traps on the journey to success. It feels good in the moment, the likes, the comments, the applause, but it steals your focus. While you chase validation, You lose sight of your real mission. Attention feels like progress, but it's not. It's noise. When you seek attention, you change your actions to please the crowd. You start performing instead of progressing. Your moves become public, your discipline weakens, and your growth slows down. Real success doesn't require applause. It requires consistency when no one's watching. Attention is addictive. Once you get a taste of being noticed, it's hard to let go. But you must. Because the more you feed that need, the more you depend on it. And the truth is, no one claps forever. If your drive is built on attention, your progress will die in silence. Don't let other people's eyes blind your vision. You weren't meant to entertain. You were meant to evolve. Let the world watch once you've built something worth seeing. Until then, stay focused. Let your ambition be louder than your need to be seen. The spotlight is not always safe. It exposes your moves before they're ready. And when people start watching too early, their opinions start shaping your decisions. That's when your growth becomes performance. And performance is not purpose. It's a mask. You don't need the world to cheer for you. You need to cheer for yourself in silence. Get up early, stay disciplined, make sacrifices. Not for views, but for the version of you that doesn't need views to feel valuable. Some of the most successful people built quietly. They didn't post every move. They didn't seek praise for every step. They stayed focused, stayed disciplined, and when they showed up, they had something real to show. Every moment spent chasing attention is a moment stolen from your goals. Every time you explain your vision to people who don't understand, you waste energy that could have built something powerful. Protect your focus. Starve the need to be seen. Attention fades. Trends fade, but legacy doesn't. Build something that lasts beyond the noise. Build something so solid that even if no one's watching, it keeps growing. That's how you win in silence. You don't owe anyone updates. You don't need to announce every win. Celebrate privately, work privately, heal privately. Let the results be your loudest statement, and let your silence be your strength. When you finally get what you've worked for, it will be sweeter knowing you didn't beg for attention to get there. You stayed focused. You stayed grounded. You didn't chase noise. You chased mastery. So block out the noise. Reject the spotlight until your work deserves it. Let attention come as a byproduct of excellence, not as your motivation, because attention is a distraction, but focus, that's freedom. Chapter 5. Quiet. Focus builds. Loud success. Success doesn't need an audience. It needs attention. Not the kind you get from others, but the kind you give to yourself. When you're locked in, when you're focused in silence, the world fades away and your results begin to grow louder than any words ever could. Quiet focus means you stop wasting energy on what doesn't matter. You stop explaining your goals. You stop trying to look successful. Instead, you build. You commit. You tune out the noise and tune into discipline. That kind of focus multiplies over time. Most people fail because they want recognition before they do the work. But real success comes in the opposite order. First, you focus without needing applause. Then, you execute without making noise. And eventually, people will notice, not because you asked, but because you delivered. When you work in silence, you train your mind to stay grounded. You don't need outside motivation. You don't chase compliments. You chase growth. And that makes your progress unstoppable. Because it's not built on praise. It's built on purpose. Quiet focus builds habits that last. It teaches you how to show up, even when you don't feel like it. It trains your mind to trust the process, not the outcome. And that kind of consistency builds results that speak louder than any introduction ever could. Every great achievement starts with focused solitude. While others are scrolling, talking, or overthinking, you're investing in something deeper. You're becoming the kind of person who doesn't need to say, "Look at me," because your life will eventually say it for you. You don't need to be loud to be powerful. Think of the ocean. It's calm on the surface, but powerful underneath. That's what quiet focus does to you. It builds a deep, unshakable strength most people won't see coming, until it arrives with force. Quiet focus makes you dangerous, not in a harmful way, but in a way that no one can predict. While others talk about success, you're already working. While they compete, you prepare. And when the moment comes, you don't need to prove yourself. Your work already did. Discipline feels small in the moment, but over time, the impact becomes massive. Each day you stay focused while others get distracted, you widen the gap. And one day, the difference will be so big, it will be impossible to ignore. You don't need to tell people what you're doing, just keep doing it. Your progress will become visible, your growth will become obvious. And when the results speak, they speak louder than anything you could have said. Quiet focus also protects your energy. It keeps you from wasting time trying to prove yourself to people who don't matter. It allows you to invest everything into becoming better without the pressure of performing for others. The most successful people in the world mastered the art of doing things no one clapped for, waking up early, training harder, working longer. These things aren't glamorous, but they're powerful, and they only happen through quiet focus. Let others talk. Let others brag. While they're focused on being seen, you stay focused on building. You're not in a race for attention, you're in a race for results. And results come to those who stay focused when no one else does. Your dream doesn't need an announcement. It needs action. It doesn't need noise. It needs direction. That's what quiet focus gives you, the ability to shut out the world and zero in on what matters most. Silence is the soil where success grows. In quiet moments, you learn what truly drives you. You stop chasing trends. You start building from the inside out. And that kind of success isn't temporary, it lasts. The reason most people don't win is because they get distracted. They chase 10 things and finish none. But quiet focus teaches you to chase one thing with everything you have. And that's how loud success is built, one silent day at a time. No one sees the early mornings, the sacrifices, the quiet nights. But that's okay, because the goal isn't to be seen, the goal is to become. And becoming takes time, patience, and a deep level of focus most won't understand. Let your silence sharpen you. Let your focus harden you. Because once you start stacking those quiet days, the ones where no one sees the grind, you're building something the world will eventually respect. The loudest success stories often come from the quietest beginnings. They didn't start in front of crowds. They started in bedrooms, basements, garages, where someone decided to commit in silence. That decision changed everything. So keep your head down. Keep your focus up. Let the world wonder what you're doing. Let your work speak when it's ready. Because when you build in silence with full focus, your success will roar without you ever saying a word. Chapter 6. Real confidence doesn't need to be proved. True confidence isn't loud. It doesn't need to walk into a room demanding attention. It's quiet. It's steady. And it comes from knowing who you are, not from convincing others to believe it too. Real confidence shows up without needing a spotlight. People who are truly confident don't over-explain themselves. They don't beg to be understood. They know their actions will speak for them in time. They move with calm, not chaos. They don't chase approval. They move in alignment with their purpose. If you constantly feel the need to prove your worth, that's not confidence. That's insecurity wearing a mask. Real confidence says, I know what I bring to the table, and I'm not afraid to eat alone. It stays grounded, even when challenged. Confident people listen more than they speak. They're not in a rush to prove they're right. They're secure enough to learn, to ask questions, and to walk away from arguments that don't deserve their energy. That's power most people can't understand. When you're confident, you don't compete, you create. You don't look sideways at what others are doing. You stay focused on your own lane. You understand that success isn't about comparison. It's about consistency, patience, and clarity. Insecure people perform. Confident people prepare. You can tell who's doing it for applause and who's doing it for purpose. One fades when the attention is gone. The other keeps rising because their motivation comes from within. Real confidence doesn't need to be loud because it's proven in silence. It's seen in how you carry yourself when no one's watching. It's shown in how you react when you're doubted. You don't have to prove anything. You just keep building. Confidence is calm under pressure. It's not shaken by criticism or inflated by praise. It knows who it is, even when the world misunderstands it. That's why truly confident people are so steady, because their worth isn't on the line with every opinion. You don't have to talk about how strong you are. Let your self-discipline prove it. Let your habits speak. Let your growth speak. That's the confidence no one can fake, because it's rooted in real effort and real change. True confidence doesn't mean thinking you're better than others. It means you don't have to compare at all. You're too focused on improving yourself to waste time proving your value to people who don't even know your story. When you're confident, you don't chase people. You don't beg for attention. You don't need constant reassurance. You stay grounded, you stay committed, and you let your life reflect the work you've done in private. The strongest confidence is built in struggle. It comes from walking through failure, setbacks, and doubt, and still choosing to keep going. Confidence isn't born from perfection. It's born from endurance. You don't need fancy clothes, loud talk, or flashy results to feel confident. You need integrity, self-respect, and quiet discipline. These things don't always get applause, but they build a life you're proud of, no matter who's watching. Confident people are okay with being misunderstood. They don't rush to defend themselves every time they're doubted. They let time and truth do the explaining, because they know their work, their actions, and their results will say everything. There's a difference between being confident and being arrogant. Arrogance says, I'm better than you. Confidence says, I don't need to compete with you. One is insecure, the other is secure, even in silence. Confidence isn't about getting everything right. It's about being okay with learning along the way. It's about showing up, even when you're unsure. It's about knowing that mistakes don't define you. Your response does. You can be confident and quiet. You can be powerful and humble. The loudest person in the room isn't always the strongest. Sometimes the one saying the least is the one who's doing the most. In life, in growth, in discipline. Don't mistake silence for weakness. Don't assume calm means soft. Sometimes, the quietest one in the room is the most focused, the most prepared, the most confident. Let your calm become your edge. You don't owe anyone an explanation for why you believe in yourself. You don't need to prove your vision to those who can't see it. Stay focused. Stay grounded. Let your belief in yourself be enough. So stop trying to convince people you're worthy. Start showing up for yourself every day. Do the work. Stay consistent. Move with purpose. Because real confidence doesn't make noise, it makes moves. Chapter 7. Grind now, shine later. Everyone wants to shine, but not everyone wants to grind. The shine is what people celebrate. The spotlight, the success, the freedom. But the grind? That's the early mornings, the lonely nights, the silent work no one sees. That's where the real ones are made. The grind is unglamorous. It's not meant to be pretty. It's meant to be productive. It's where discipline is forged and character is built. You won't always feel motivated during the grind, but showing up anyway? That's what separates winners from wishers. If you want the rewards, you must pay the price. Not in one day, but in many, stacked one on top of another, day after day. Quiet, focused, uncomfortable effort. That's the cost of real success. Shine is rented, and the rent is due every single day. The grind is your training ground. It's the phase where you build skills, grow thick skin, and develop focus. The world might not see you now, and that's okay. Let them sleep on you, because when the time is right, your results will be undeniable. Grinding in silence teaches you humility. You stop working for attention and start working for legacy. You realize that the shine doesn't mean much if it wasn't earned. The process matters more than the praise. This chapter of your life might be hard. It might be filled with sacrifice, frustration, and self-doubt. But don't skip it. The grind teaches you everything the shine never will. It prepares you for the weight of what you're asking for. Those who shine the longest are the ones who grinded the hardest. They didn't rush. They didn't fake it. They put in the hours no one applauded. They stayed consistent when it got boring and relentless when it got tough. Shining without the grind is empty. It looks good on the outside, but feels weak inside. Because deep down, you know if you didn't earn it, you can't sustain it. But when you grind for it, truly grind, the success hits different. It's deeper, it's real. Grinding now means delaying pleasure. It means saying no when everyone else is saying yes. But it also means creating a life where you won't need to escape. That's what the grind buys you. Long-term peace, not just short-term happiness. Let others laugh. Let them doubt you. Let them enjoy now. Your time is coming, but only if you keep building. While they relax, you rise. While they sleep, you grow. And one day, when they ask how you did it, your story will be written in sweat. You don't need to be seen right now. You need to be solid. You need to be so focused on becoming that you forget the spotlight even exists. Because when you're ready, truly ready, the spotlight won't define you. It'll reflect you. The grind is your proof. It's what you fall back on when doubt creeps in. When you've worked hard in silence, you carry confidence no one can shake. Because you know you've earned every step forward. Nothing was given. Everything was built. Don't envy someone else's shine if you haven't seen their grind. And don't wish for a quick result. Wish for the strength to stay in the process. The grind isn't punishment. It's preparation. Your future self is watching you. Every decision you make now, every workout, every early wake-up, every task done when you don't feel like it, is shaping the life you're about to live. Grind now, so that version of you doesn't have to struggle later. Even on the days when nothing seems to be working, show up. The grind doesn't always give instant results, but it always gives long-term reward. Stay in it. Trust it. Your consistency is compounding. Grinding also filters out the fake. People who are only in it for the attention won't last through discomfort. But you're still here. That means you're different. That means the shine you're building will be earned and unshakable. The grind is quiet, but it builds loud success. It builds confidence. It builds momentum. It builds a version of you that no one can take credit for but you. That's what makes it powerful. That's what makes it real. Success hits harder when you remember the struggle it took to get there. When you shine later, it'll feel sweeter, because you know what you sacrificed, what you endured, and what you overcame. Let that push you forward. Your story isn't just about the wins. It's about the days you didn't quit, the days you worked through doubt, the days you showed up when no one was clapping. That's the part people will feel when you finally shine. So grind now, sacrifice now, stay consistent now, because the glow you're chasing isn't found in shortcuts. It's found in every quiet day you stayed the course. And when the shine comes, you won't have to say a word. Your journey will speak for itself. Chapter 8. Keep building even when no one's watching. The real test of character isn't how you perform in front of a crowd. It's how you show up when no one's watching. The grind you do in private becomes the strength you carry in public. Those quiet days count more than you think. It's easy to give your best when people are cheering. It's harder to give your best when no one is clapping, no one is asking, and no one is noticing. But that's where champions are made. In the silence, in the shadows, in the repetition. Most people only work hard when they feel seen. But greatness doesn't grow under a spotlight. It grows in the dark. When you're unseen, uncelebrated, and still consistent, you're laying bricks others will one day admire. The work you do behind closed doors becomes your secret weapon. Every early morning, every quiet hour, every sacrifice you make without recognition is sharpening your future without the world even knowing it. You won't get a trophy for showing up alone. You won't get applause for staying disciplined when no one's around. But what you'll get is progress. And progress is the reward that builds success. Even when it's invisible for a while. It's not about proving something to the world. It's about proving something to yourself. That you're reliable, that you're serious, that your word to yourself matters more than approval from anyone else. When no one's watching, there are no filters, no pressure, no performance, just you and your decision to either keep building or give up. That choice, repeated in silence, shapes everything you become. Don't mistake quiet seasons for wasted ones. Just because no one's praising you doesn't mean you're not making progress. Every step forward still counts, even when it's silent. Especially when it's silent. Consistency in private is what creates strength in public. The people you admire, the ones who seem unshakable, built that power when no one saw them. They just stayed committed, long before success showed up. The truth is, most people will never see your effort. They'll only see your results. But don't let that bother you. Let it fuel you. Because you'll know every inch of your success was earned when no one else believed in it but you. The world will always notice the finished product, but you'll always remember the process. The lonely hours, the silent tears, the quiet wins. That's what makes your success personal. That's what makes it powerful. If you only show up when you're seen, you'll never last, because there will be seasons where no one notices you. That's when most people quit. But not you. You keep building. Because you're not doing it for them. You're doing it for who you're becoming. Sometimes you have to disappear for a while to rebuild. That's not failure. That's wisdom. Go missing from the noise. Get back to the work. Come back unrecognizable. Let your reappearance be the only explanation you need. Those who stay disciplined in silence become unstoppable in public. While others are distracted by attention, you're investing in growth. That's why your foundation will be stronger. That's why your results will last. Don't rush to be seen. Build until being seen is a side effect, not the goal. When your work is real, it'll show eventually. Until then, stay locked in, stay building, stay hidden if you must, but never stop. You can fake loud success, but you can't fake quiet discipline. That's why building in silence is powerful. No shortcuts, no pretending, just you doing the work day after day, even when it's invisible. People will ask how you did it. They won't understand that your real growth happened in months of silence. They won't see the times you wanted to quit but didn't. But you'll know, and that's what matters. You owe it to yourself to keep going. Not because anyone's watching, but because you said you would. Honor that promise. That quiet integrity becomes your confidence, and that confidence becomes your edge. Every brick you lay in private becomes the foundation of your future. So keep building, even when it's quiet, even when it's hard, even when no one's watching, because what you're building is bigger than this moment. Let them sleep on you, let them ignore you, but don't stop building, because one day the world will ask how you did it, and the answer will be simple. I kept going, even when no one was watching. Chapter 9. Speak less, do more. The world is full of talkers, people who make big promises, loud declarations, and dramatic plans. But real progress doesn't come from talking. It comes from doing. And doing doesn't need a microphone. It just needs discipline. You don't need to announce your every move. You don't need to convince anyone you're serious. If you're really about growth, your actions will say everything. And the ones who matter will hear you, even in silence. Talking feels good. It gives the illusion of movement. But it's a trap. It delays execution. You start believing that saying it is the same as doing it. It's not. Only effort moves the needle. Words don't build. Action does. When you speak too much, you give away your energy. You start performing for approval instead of producing results. Every minute spent talking is a minute not used working. Speak less, and you'll accomplish more. Real builders don't need to be loud. They're too busy grinding. While others talk about goals, they're creating momentum. While others seek attention, they seek mastery. That's the difference. That's why they win. Let your work do the talking. Let your habits prove your hunger. The louder your actions get, the less you'll need to say. And eventually, your results will speak for you in every room your voice has never entered. You don't need to promise anyone anything. Just show up. Be consistent. Be focused. Be disciplined when no one expects it. That's how you earn respect without saying a word. That's how you lead by example. Speaking less also protects your vision. The more you talk, the more people project their fears onto your goals. Keep your dream sacred. Guard it. Build it. Then let it show itself when it's ready. Too much talking leads to overthinking. The more you explain yourself, the more you start questioning yourself. But when you get quiet, your focus sharpens, your confidence grows, your actions become clean and powerful. You don't owe the world updates. You owe yourself results. If the choice is between talking about the work or doing the work, choose the grind. Let the silence fuel your momentum. Let discipline be your voice. When you speak less, you create space to think more. And when you think more, you move smarter. Silence sharpens the mind. It shifts your focus from looking good to becoming good. That shift changes everything. Not everyone needs to understand your plan. You're not here to explain, you're here to execute. Say less, do more. The people who truly get it will notice the difference. The rest? They'll be too distracted by noise to see it coming. Results are louder than opinions. You don't have to argue your value when your output proves it. Speak with your consistency. Speak with your delivery. Speak with what you've built, not what you said you would build. Quiet workers are often the most dangerous, not because they brag, but because they act. Every day they move forward. Every day they stack results. And one day they'll be so far ahead that talking won't be necessary. You don't need to reply to every critic. You don't need to clap back at every doubter. Let your progress handle the conversations you're tired of having. That's real power, letting your grind speak louder than your mouth. When you reduce your words, you increase your movement. You waste less time. You make sharper choices. You stop selling your vision and start building it. And that switch is when things really start to change. The world respects results. That's why the quiet ones who stay consistent always win in the end. They didn't explain their way to success. They worked their way there. And when they arrived, no one questioned how. Talk fades, hype dies, but results remain. Keep your mouth closed and your hands working. Your future self will thank you for the discipline, not the speeches. If they don't see your vision now, that's fine. Keep building it. If they don't believe you, that's fine. Let them watch. But don't stop moving. Speak less. Do more. Let your life be the loudest thing in the room. So the next time you're tempted to prove yourself with words, pause. Redirect that energy into your effort. Let your actions speak with clarity, because real confidence doesn't shout, it shows. Chapter 10. The most dangerous person is the one who doesn't brag. The most dangerous person in the room is the one who doesn't need to say much. They don't seek attention. They don't talk about their plans. They don't post every move. They stay quiet, and then they strike with results no one saw coming. When someone doesn't brag, it's not because they have nothing to say. It's because they're too focused on becoming. Real strength doesn't need approval. It doesn't need to be validated. It just needs to keep building, silently, powerfully, and consistently. Loud people often rely on noise to feel important. But the quiet ones, they rely on action. They know words are temporary, but results are permanent. They stay silent not because they lack confidence, but because they have nothing to prove. The more secure you are, the less you need to be seen. You understand that success isn't a performance, it's a process. And the less you talk about it, the more time you have to actually do it. That's what makes you dangerous. Your silence is full of work. Bragging is often a sign of insecurity. It's a way to cover doubt. But those who are truly building don't have time to convince anyone. They trust their grind. They trust their path, and they let the outcome speak when the time is right. You don't have to flex when you're focused. Your effort becomes your edge. Your consistency becomes your confidence, and your peace becomes your power. That calm, silent energy is what sets you apart. When you don't brag, people underestimate you. That's an advantage. Let them sleep on you. Let them assume. Because when your moment comes, they won't be ready. But you will. You were preparing while they were watching others. The most dangerous people are not loud. They're strategic. They don't talk. They study. They don't announce. They execute. They move in silence with intention. And that silence builds a power that cannot be matched by noise. You're not ignoring the world. You're just not distracted by it. You're working in silence because your future matters more than attention. You'd rather win quietly than impress loudly. And that mindset is rare. That's why it wins. Don't be afraid to go unnoticed. That's where your advantage lives. When no one sees you, you're free to evolve without pressure, free to grow without judgment, and free to surprise the world when your work finally steps into the light. Quiet strength is often misread as weakness, but that's the point. You let people assume, you let them doubt, and then you let your transformation be the shock, because nothing speaks louder than success that required no announcements. Bragging creates pressure. You feel the need to deliver instantly. But when you keep your goals to yourself, you give yourself space to breathe, to experiment, to fail and adjust, without an audience waiting to judge you. The strongest people carry pain, purpose, and power, but you'd never know it, because they don't advertise it. They show up, they push through, and they let the journey speak for itself. Every move you make in silence builds your advantage. While others are distracted by attention, you're sharpening your tools. You're getting stronger in the dark, so when the spotlight comes, you're not afraid. You're ready. People who don't brag are often the ones with the deepest scars and the strongest minds. They've been through battles no one knows about, and those battles made them unshakable. That's why they don't need to shout. They've already won the war inside. Let others talk. Let them count their wins out loud. You keep stacking quietly, because quiet stacking leads to loud breakthroughs, and when your time comes, you won't need to explain. Your presence will say everything. The reason silence is powerful is because it's rare. In a world obsessed with showing off, the one who holds back stands out. The one who focuses instead of flexing becomes a threat, because they move with depth, not ego. Never confuse silence with softness. The person who doesn't brag may just be the most dangerous one in the room, not because they want to dominate, but because they've mastered themselves. And that kind of mastery is unmatched. Bragging fades, but excellence remains. And when you stay committed in silence, the outcome becomes undeniable. It creates a story no brag could ever write, one built from truth, effort, and unshakable belief. So be the one who doesn't need to brag. Be the one who builds in silence, moves with purpose, and lets success shout the message for you. That's how you lead, that's how you last, and that's why you'll win. The less you talk, the more you observe. And observation gives you clarity. It helps you see what others miss. While they're busy showing off, you're studying, learning, and preparing. You're not loud, but you're lethal in your focus. You become dangerous when you stop explaining and start executing. The people who brag are hoping someone will validate them, but the ones who keep moving in silence already believe in their own mission. They're building proof, not asking for praise. Bragging looks like confidence, but often it's the opposite. It's a need to be noticed, to feel valuable through other people's eyes. But those who are truly confident don't need attention. They already know their worth. You won't find the most powerful builders online telling everyone what they're doing. You'll find them working, refining, creating. They're not chasing claps, they're building legacy. And that kind of legacy never needs to scream. The more you talk, the more you invite distraction. People start offering opinions, projecting fear, or creating pressure. But when you stay quiet, you protect your energy, and your energy is your most valuable currency. There's power in being underestimated. When no one sees you coming, you move freely. You grow without eyes on you. And by the time they realize what you've built, it's too late. The foundation is already unshakable. Being silent doesn't mean you're passive. It means you're intentional. Every step you take is calculated. Every decision is made with focus. You're not wasting energy convincing people. You're saving it for the breakthrough. People often overtalk because they're trying to convince themselves they're doing enough. But when you're truly in the zone, you don't talk. You just do. The grind becomes louder than the words ever could be. Let others seek validation through noise. You keep showing up without recognition. Keep putting in the hours. Keep building what they'll later wonder how you pulled off. That mystery is your shield and your strength. The world teaches us to market ourselves constantly, but not everything needs an audience. Some seasons are sacred, some growth needs silence, and some results only come when you stop broadcasting and start becoming. The person who doesn't brag often leads in ways people never expect. They command respect through action, not attention, and when they speak, it carries weight, because they don't waste words. The more you work in silence, the stronger you become. You stop caring who's watching. You stop reacting to outside noise. You start building a system, one that works, whether they believe in you or not. Quiet consistency beats loud motivation every time. You don't need a crowd to push you. You need a reason and the discipline to follow it through. That's what makes your silence dangerous. It's powered by purpose. Bragging often brings pressure to maintain a performance. But when you grow quietly, you grow with freedom. There's no image to protect, no expectations to fulfill, just a path to walk and a vision to chase. People think you're quiet because you lack something, but it's the opposite. You've found something. Peace. Direction. A rhythm that doesn't need to be explained. That's why your energy feels different. Let them doubt you. Let them talk over you. That's fine. You're not interested in winning arguments. You're focused on winning in life. And your results will settle every score without you saying a word. The longer you build without distraction, the deeper your roots grow. And when the time comes to rise, you'll rise with strength that can't be shaken, because it was built in silence and pressure, not noise and comfort. You don't need to stand on a stage to prove your value. Just keep doing what you said you would do, even when no one's clapping. That kind of follow-through turns quiet confidence into unstoppable momentum. The person who doesn't brag is often the one who's been through the most. Their silence isn't emptiness, it's wisdom. They know that real success doesn't talk. It shows up, fully earned, and completely undeniable. So walk quietly, build daily, and speak rarely. Let your work carry the message. Let your transformation be the proof, because the most dangerous person is never the loudest. It's the one who never stopped moving in silence. Chapter 11. Progress grows in private. Progress doesn't need an audience to be real. Some of the greatest transformations happen behind closed doors, not for validation, not for attention, but because you chose to grow. Quietly, consistently, purposefully. Growth is a private journey. It's the hours you spend alone working on yourself, the thoughts you don't share, the lessons you learn in silence. No cameras, no praise, just you, grinding while no one is watching. In private, you fail without fear. You try new things, you break old habits, you make mistakes, correct them, and evolve. That's the beauty of privacy. It gives you space to become without pressure to perform. The world praises outcomes, but true progress is made in the process. It's built in small daily decisions, to stay disciplined, to keep moving, to push through even when no one's cheering you on. Private progress builds real confidence, not the kind that needs to be seen, but the kind that can't be shaken. You don't need to convince anyone. You've done the work. You feel it in how you carry yourself. Some people only grow when they're being watched. But when the spotlight fades, so does their effort. Private progress means you're committed whether the world is paying attention or not. You don't need to tell everyone what you're working on. Let the silence protect your vision. Grow roots before you show branches, because when it finally blooms, it'll speak for itself. Progress in private teaches patience. You're not rushing to show results. You're focused on doing it right, building a foundation that lasts, not a moment that fades. When you grow privately, you remove distractions. You stop comparing yourself to others. You stop chasing timelines. You create your own pace, one built on depth, not speed. The greatest growth often looks like nothing on the outside. You're still in the same place, still working the same job, still unseen. But inside, your mind is shifting. Your habits are changing. You're leveling up. People won't understand your silence. They'll wonder if you've stopped. But the truth is, you've started something deeper. You're building silently so you can rise loudly later. There's power in being hidden while you grow. You get to learn without judgment, fail without headlines, rebuild without distraction, and by the time you emerge, you're a completely different version of yourself. Progress requires privacy because growth is fragile at first. It needs time, space, focus. When too many eyes are on you, it's easy to start performing instead of transforming. You don't owe anyone updates. Your progress is personal, sacred. It's not for the feed, it's for your future. Let your private victories stack, one by one, day by day, quietly. Your future self will thank you for every moment you chose the grind over the spotlight, the focus over the flex, the effort over the ego. That's how real change is made, in silence. In private, you meet your real self. You face your fears. You overcome doubt. You build habits that no one will ever see, but everyone will feel when your results finally show. Let others rush to be seen. You stay committed to becoming. When they burn out from attention, you'll still be rising, quietly fueled by something deeper than likes or applause. Silence becomes sacred when you use it to grow. It's not emptiness, it's expansion. You're stretching your limits, deepening your strength, and preparing to show up with results that speak volumes. The longer you grow in private, the stronger your reveal will be. Because you're not rushing to impress, you're preparing to last. And lasting results always start in private. When it finally shows, they'll think it happened fast. But you'll know it was months, maybe years, of quiet work. That's the beauty of private progress. It looks sudden, but it's been building the whole time. You don't need the world to understand your process. You just need to trust it. Keep moving forward, even when no one claps. Especially then. That's when you prove to yourself this is real. So keep building, keep growing, keep doing the quiet work that no one sees. Because progress grows in private. And when it finally shows, it's going to speak louder than anything you could have said. The work you do in private becomes your advantage. While others are distracted by being seen, you're building skills, sharpening discipline, and mastering the invisible. And one day, they'll wonder how you got so far ahead, without ever hearing you coming. Private progress removes the need for applause. You don't crave validation when you've earned inner peace. Your confidence comes from what you've done in silence, not from what you've shown to others. Success is quiet at first. It doesn't scream. It whispers through your habits, your focus, and your attitude. And slowly, those whispers turn into a voice that's impossible to ignore because it was built from truth. You don't need a public timeline. You need a personal standard, a promise to yourself that you'll keep going, even when nothing looks different yet. Because true progress is invisible until it's undeniable. In privacy, you refine, you try things, you fail, you adjust. There's no fear of being judged because there's no pressure to impress. You're just committed to getting better, for yourself, not for attention. Let people think nothing is happening. Let them assume you're stuck, because while they guess, you're growing. You're building muscle, mindset, momentum, all the things they can't see but will soon feel. The most successful people didn't blow up overnight. They built up over time, in silence, in solitude, in seasons of quiet work that didn't look exciting, but created everything they have now. Progress feels slow when it's real. You don't see results every day, but every time you show up, you add something, something small, something that compounds, and that quiet growth turns into something massive. You're not falling behind. You're building deeply. You're not missing out. You're moving inward. And that kind of progress may not go viral, but it will outlast everything that does. The grind gets lonely, but don't confuse loneliness with lack of purpose. You're not alone. You're aligned. You're not isolated. You're focused. Stay in it. This is the part that transforms you. Private growth gives you freedom. Freedom to evolve without pressure. Freedom to change your mind. Freedom to grow in ways that others won't understand, but you will feel deeply. What's built in silence stands the longest. It's not built on hype. It's built on discipline. It's built on showing up again and again with no spotlight, no crowd, and no applause. Just purpose. Keep a low profile and a high standard. Say less and do more. Let your life get louder as your words get quieter. That's how private progress becomes public power. There's a reason your growth is quiet, because it's real. Fake growth demands attention. Real growth doesn't need it. Real growth builds roots. And roots don't make noise. They hold everything up. Some days you'll feel invisible. Good. That's the sign that you're doing the real work. No one sees it now, but one day your life will reflect every hour you poured into becoming. The pressure to prove disappears when you trust the process. You stop rushing. You stop comparing. You start focusing on the only thing that matters, getting better, one private step at a time. Every time you choose to keep going when no one is looking, you build self-respect. That's what turns effort into identity. You become the kind of person who doesn't quit, and that changes everything. Let your discipline be your voice. Let your routine be your message. And let your life, not your words, become the evidence of what you've been building all along. In a world that celebrates noise, choose depth. In a time where everyone's showing off, keep showing up. You're not being left behind. You're being prepared. So protect your silence. Keep it sacred. Keep your progress private, steady, and real. Because when it finally surfaces, they won't just notice it. They'll respect it. Chapter 12. They'll respect you when they see the results. People may ignore your journey, but they won't ignore your results. At first, they'll overlook you. They'll doubt you. Some may even laugh. But when the results show, the same people who dismissed you will fall silent. Because results don't lie. Respect isn't earned through promises. It's earned through proof. You can say all the right things and still be questioned. But once your progress becomes visible, your silence will be understood, and your effort will be undeniable. Most people don't believe in what they can't see. So when you're working in silence, they assume nothing's happening. That's okay. Let them assume. Let them question. You don't owe them words. You owe yourself progress. They won't notice the early mornings, the private sacrifices, the hours spent learning, failing, and building, but they will notice the glow when it comes. And when it does, they'll have no choice but to respect what you've built. You don't need to argue with doubters. You don't need to explain your vision. Stay focused on the work, because when the results arrive, they'll speak louder than anything you could have said, and they'll say it with power. It's not your job to be understood during the grind. It's your job to be disciplined, to stay committed, and when the time is right, the outcome will do the talking for you, and people will listen, because results get their attention. At first, they'll question your silence. Then, they'll respect your focus. That's how it always works. They won't respect your potential. They'll respect your proof. So give them none of your plans and all of your execution. People trust what they can see. You don't have to convince them of your worth. Just keep building, keep producing, because when they finally see the finished product, the respect will come naturally and silently. The results you're working for today are your best argument tomorrow. Every repetition, every sacrifice, every decision to keep going is building a case that no critic will be able to argue with. You don't need to shout about your progress. Let your growth do the talking. Let your improvement change the way they look at you. When they see the transformation, their opinion will change, without you saying a word. The deeper your results, the louder your silence becomes. It's a different level of power when people have nothing to say back, because your work speaks so clearly, so boldly, that even your critics have to respect it. The respect won't come instantly. It may take months or years, but stay patient. Keep stacking wins in private. Keep sharpening your skills, because the day will come when your name is mentioned with admiration, not because you demanded it, but because you earned it. Let your results earn you rooms your voice never could. Let your work open doors that talking would have only closed. Let your discipline and growth earn the reputation people never thought to give you. The ones who laughed will go quiet. The ones who doubted will ask how you did it. And you won't need to respond with attitude. Just let the life you built do the speaking. That's a different kind of respect. You don't need to prove anything right now. Just prove yourself right. Believe in the vision. Stick to the process. And when it works, those who once questioned you will start looking up to you. Not everyone respects potential, but everyone respects results. So stop wasting energy trying to get people to believe. Channel that energy into the work. When it's done, you won't have to explain a thing. When you walk into a room with results, the energy changes. People pay attention. They listen differently. Because now, you're not just someone with a dream. You're someone who made it happen. Respect built on results is solid. It doesn't fade when people change. It doesn't disappear when trends shift. Because it was earned. And anything earned with consistency, patience, and integrity lasts. Keep your vision private, your grind loud, and your results louder. That's the formula. That's how you go from being underestimated to being undeniable. Let the work elevate your name. The day will come when they'll say, "I didn't see it coming," and you'll smile, not out of revenge, but because you know you stayed true. You trusted yourself. You didn't chase attention. You chased progress. They may never respect your silence, but they will respect your results. So don't give them explanations. Don't seek approval. Give them outcomes. That's how you earn respect that doesn't need to be asked for. Let your final chapter be the loudest. Let your transformation be your message. And let your life, the one you built in silence, be the proof that they can't help but respect. You don't have to convince people when your life becomes the evidence. When the transformation is real, it will show. And when it shows, respect follows. Not because you asked for it, but because it can't be denied. They'll forget the moments you were ignored, but they'll never forget the moment you rose. That's why you keep going. Not for validation, but because your rise is already written and your work is making it real. You'll never need to raise your voice if your work is loud enough. When the results hit the surface, people listen differently. They respond to what they can't argue with, and consistent results speak louder than words ever could. The same people who questioned your silence will later quote your discipline. The same ones who overlooked you will use your name as an example. That's the reward of staying patient and focused. They'll watch your success rewrite their opinions. Don't expect recognition in the middle of the grind. That's not how it works. It comes at the end, after the late nights, after the sacrifices, after the doubt. But when it comes, it makes every quiet day worth it. Success is the best response to every person who ever doubted you. Not revenge, just results. Not noise, just evidence. The kind that speaks in every room and silences every critic without a word. They might forget your words, but they won't forget your wins. That's what lasts. That's what speaks. And that's why you don't need to shout. Just keep showing up, keep stacking, and let the results speak for you. You're not being overlooked, you're being underestimated. And that's fine, because when your results arrive, they won't just notice, they'll respect the process you never complained about. Let others talk. Let them explain. You focus on becoming. The more energy you give to execution, the less you'll need to give to validation. Because when you're known for results, your silence carries weight. Not everyone needs to believe in you right now. What matters is that you believe in your direction. You believe in your routine. And when it's all built, they'll believe too, because they'll have no other choice. Respect that's demanded fades quickly, but respect that's earned through growth, through work, through consistent effort, that kind of respect lasts. It outlives the noise. It speaks even when you don't. You're not here to impress people. You're here to impact lives. And that starts with becoming the proof. Let your life be the evidence that dedication works, that patience pays off, and that silent discipline wins loud. Every day you stay focused is building something they can't see. But one day, the world will see it. And when they do, they won't question how, because your consistency will answer every question. You don't need to explain your season of silence. You're not hiding. You're working. You're not avoiding. You're preparing. And when the results arrive, the shift will be so clear. The silence will finally make sense. The people who never clapped for you might start asking for advice. The same people who looked away might want to be near you. That's the power of letting results earn respect that words never could. Stay calm, stay grounded. You don't need to fight for your spot. Your effort is already carving it out for you. And when the foundation is set, no one will be able to deny what you've built. Don't be discouraged by the silence around you. Use it. Let it sharpen you. Let it drive you. Because when it's over, the results you created will speak with a voice that everyone will hear, even those who once ignored you. The applause will come, but that's not what you're chasing. You're chasing mastery. You're chasing truth. You're chasing the version of you that doesn't need a crowd to feel worthy. That version earns real respect. When you're consistent, you become undeniable. It won't matter who doubted you. It won't matter who overlooked you. Your work will make them look twice, and your growth will make them remember why. So stay in motion. Stay disciplined. Stay silent if you must. Because at the end of it all, they won't remember what you said. They'll remember what you built, and they'll respect you because of it. Chapter 13. Stay quiet until it's time to show. There is power in staying quiet. Not because you're hiding, but because you're preparing. You don't need to tell people what you're building. Let them assume. Let them sleep. Let them talk, and when the time is right, let your success speak for you. You don't owe the world updates. You owe yourself progress. Keep showing up behind the scenes. Keep building in silence. Let your journey remain sacred while it's still in motion, because once you show, there's no going back. Silence protects your process. When people don't know what you're doing, they can't interrupt it. They can't influence your direction or discourage your grind. Privacy gives you freedom to grow without pressure or noise. Everyone wants to be seen. Few want to be ready. But real winners stay low until they've earned their moment. They don't chase the spotlight. They prepare for the responsibility that comes with it. That's what makes the difference. Stay quiet, because greatness takes time. What you're building deserves focus, not attention. When you're too loud too soon, you invite distractions. Stay focused. Stay grounded. The time to show will come, and it will be worth it. If you speak too early, you give away your momentum. But if you stay quiet, you protect your fire. You keep it burning behind the scenes. You let it grow strong enough that when the world sees it, they can't look away. Silence sharpens you. It teaches you patience, self-control, and humility. You're not proving anything to anyone. You're becoming something no one's ready for. That kind of transformation requires solitude. You don't need to prove how hard you're working. Just work. You don't need to announce your comeback. Just come back stronger. Every day you stay quiet and disciplined, you're stacking proof the world will soon respect. The best moves are made quietly. While others are posting about their goals, you're already achieving them. While others seek credit, you're seeking growth. And that difference is what sets you apart when it's finally time to show. Not everyone deserves to see the process, only the result. Let your future be the loudest part of your journey. Let your actions shock the people who once thought you were finished. Your silence builds suspense. And when you finally reveal what you've been building, the impact hits harder. The best stories aren't told in real time. They're revealed at the end, with results that speak louder than explanation. Let others chase the spotlight. Let others show unfinished work. You stay focused. Keep building something complete, something real, something powerful. And when it's done, you won't have to say a word. The world respects results more than potential. So don't rush to show what you're working on. Show it when it's undeniable. Show it when it's too late to stop. Show it when you've already become what you once only dreamed of. There's a quiet kind of strength that grows in those who wait, those who don't need to be seen, who don't need to be praised. They just need to keep becoming, and let the rest reveal itself when the time is right. Stay quiet, because you're still growing. Your future self is being shaped in silence. Every silent morning, every unnoticed decision, every late-night grind. That's what creates the loudest legacy. Let them talk. Let them wonder. Let them assume you've stopped. You know better. You're still building. And when the reveal comes, it won't just be a surprise. It will be a reminder of what silent work can do. Waiting to show takes discipline. It takes self-control. But when you trust your own pace, you free yourself from the need to impress. You stop proving. You start building. And the end result becomes the answer to every doubt. Don't speak just to be heard. Speak through your life. Speak through your execution. Speak through what you've created when no one was watching. That kind of voice never needs to be raised. There's a certain kind of fear that rises in others when a quiet person finally shows up with results. It's not arrogance. It's presence. It's proof that you never stopped. You were just focused on becoming unshakable. Be patient. Be private. You're not hiding, you're rising. And when the time comes to show what you've built, let it speak so loud you never have to explain yourself again. The silence before the reveal is part of your strength. Use it, protect it, build in it. Because when it's time to show, you'll walk in with confidence no one saw coming, but everyone will remember. So stay quiet, stay working, stay becoming. And when the time comes, show up with something so powerful that your silence becomes your legacy. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is say nothing at all. Let your silence be a shield. Let your work stay in the shadows. The longer you wait to reveal what you're building, the louder the impact when you finally arrive. Your goals don't need a stage right now. They need structure. They need late nights, early mornings, deep focus, and unwavering patience. Talk can't build a future, but quiet commitment does. That's what your silence is for. You're not behind. You're building. You're not stuck. You're preparing. The difference is timing. Those who show too soon peak too early. But those who wait until it's solid, they create something no one can shake. Every day you stay quiet is a day you protect your momentum. The world may not understand your silence, but it doesn't need to. What you're crafting is for the right time, the right moment, and it's coming, if you stay steady. You don't need to announce you're evolving. Just evolve. Quietly. Let the progress be personal. Let the discipline become your story. When the growth is real, it shows without warning and without explanation. Silence keeps you humble. It reminds you that this journey isn't about being seen. It's about becoming strong, becoming wise, becoming better. That transformation doesn't happen in front of crowds. It happens in quiet places. Let your silence confuse them. Let it make them underestimate you, because when you show up with something great, their surprise becomes your edge. It's the advantage only silent work can give. Don't be afraid to be invisible for a while. That's where the real power grows. It's where you heal. It's where you plan. It's where you become the version of you that doesn't need approval to stay focused. Most people rush the reveal. They want recognition before they're ready. But when you wait, when you show only after the foundation is firm, your presence doesn't just inspire, it commands respect. Your quiet season is not wasted. It's sacred. It's the time when you realign with your purpose, tighten your vision, and sharpen your tools. It's uncomfortable, yes, but it's necessary. That's where the fire is built. Let your growth be quiet enough that you surprise even yourself. Watch how you change. Watch how you start showing up different. Not louder, just more certain, more refined, more unshakably you. You're not missing out. You're tuning in. Tuning in to your next level, your discipline, your strategy. That kind of focus is rare, and that's why the end result will be rare too. No one will clap for you in the quiet. That's okay. You're not doing it for the claps. You're doing it because the future demands it. And when it's time to show, the applause will be louder than the noise you once ignored. Let your silence be the foundation of your power. When no one knows your next move, they can't interfere. When no one expects the growth, they can't limit you. You're not hiding. You're setting the stage. Don't confuse quiet with doubt. This silence is not hesitation. It's precision. You're thinking deeper. You're moving smarter. You're becoming more calculated, more driven, more aligned with what matters. When you finally show, let it be with no warning, no preview, just presence. Walk in like you've been preparing, because you have. Walk in with the kind of quiet power that shifts the room without saying a word. The longer you stay quiet, the stronger the transformation. You're not just changing your habits, you're changing your identity, and that doesn't happen in public. It happens when no one's watching. Silence gives you something that talking never will: control. Control over your vision, control over your narrative. You get to decide when and how the world sees your growth, on your terms. You're not done. You're not even close, but you're getting closer. With every quiet step, you're moving toward a reveal that doesn't just impress, it inspires. That's what staying quiet prepares you for. So keep it private, keep it sacred, stay locked in. Because when the moment comes, when it's time to show, you won't just be different, you'll be undeniable. Chapter 14. Disappear for a while and come back transformed. Sometimes the best thing you can do is go silent. Step away from the noise, pull back from the crowd, not to quit, but to evolve. Transformation doesn't happen in front of an audience. It happens in solitude, in silence, in private. Disappearing doesn't mean you're lost. It means you're prioritizing growth over performance. You're not wasting energy proving your worth. You're using that energy to upgrade your mindset, your habits, and your future. The world teaches us to stay visible, to stay loud. But real transformation requires the opposite. It requires disconnection, time away, time to rebuild what was broken, to rediscover your direction, and to reignite your purpose. There's strength in isolation, if you use it. When you disconnect from distractions, you finally hear yourself clearly. You begin to notice what needs to change, and you have space to do the deep work no one else sees. Let them wonder where you went. Let them assume. The point is not to be seen while you're transforming. The point is to return so elevated, so focused, so unstoppable. They can't ignore what you've become. Growth takes time, and real growth takes silence. The kind of silence where you face your flaws, confront your fears, and choose to rise anyway. That can't be done in front of everyone. That's sacred work, and it deserves privacy. Disappearing for a while isn't weakness. It's wisdom. You're choosing inner peace over public pressure. You're trading shallow attention for deep alignment. You're stepping away so you can come back stronger. When you go missing, go with purpose. Go to heal. Go to strengthen. Go to learn what the next level of you looks like. And when you return, you won't need to explain where you've been. Your presence will say everything. Transformations are not loud. They're quiet, steady, and sometimes painful. They happen when you finally stop running and start rebuilding. When you're no longer focused on how you look, but who you're becoming. You may feel lonely during this process. That's natural. But don't mistake loneliness for lack of progress. You're shedding layers. You're rewriting your story. And that's work no one can do for you. Only you can walk this path. Your comeback doesn't need hype. It needs honesty. The kind of honesty that says, I disappeared to become, to break patterns, to let go of the old, to come back with more clarity, more discipline, and more purpose. In the dark, you learn who you really are, not the version people think you are, the real you, the one that's ready to fight, to focus, to rise. That's the version that comes back transformed. When it's time to return, let your results speak. You don't need to brag, you don't need to explain. The new you will carry a presence that silence built, and that presence will speak louder than anything you've ever said. Disappearing gives you perspective. You begin to see what matters, what drains you, and what you've outgrown. And with that clarity, you no longer need to chase, because you now know what's worth your energy. Let your absence become your advantage. While others stayed stuck trying to be seen, you disappeared to evolve. And when you return, you won't just fit in, you'll lead. Transformation is uncomfortable. It breaks you open before it builds you stronger. But once it's done, you'll walk different, think different, move different, and people will feel it, even if they don't understand it. This is your season to get quiet, to focus, and to become the version of yourself that no one saw coming. Not because you need to prove anything, but because you deserve everything you're working for. They'll ask what happened. Smile. Let them guess. Let your actions, your energy, your consistency tell the story. You went away for a while. You healed. You built. You became. And now you're here, new. The world respects results, not announcements. So disappear with discipline. Work while no one's watching. And when you reappear, let the transformation speak for itself. You're not the same anymore, and that's the point. You stepped away to rise, and now the version of you that's returned is wiser, tougher, calmer, and more intentional. Disappearing wasn't quitting, it was refining, it was sharpening, it was necessary, because sometimes the only way to truly grow is to disappear for a while and come back completely transformed. Your silence is your sanctuary. While others are shouting for attention, you're creating peace, discipline, and depth. You're not escaping the world. You're escaping distractions to rediscover what really matters. People fear disappearing because they think they'll be forgotten. But the truth is, disappearing helps you remember who you are. And when you return, you won't need to be remembered. You'll be redefined. Stepping away gives you something rare, uninterrupted time to evolve. No noise, no comparisons, just you and your goals. That space becomes sacred. It's where breakthroughs are born. Transformation isn't always visible at first. You'll still look the same, still walk the same. But your mind, your spirit, completely upgraded, and eventually people will feel the shift before you say a word. You weren't made to stay stuck in the same place, pleasing the same people. You were meant to grow, to challenge your limits, and to return stronger than before. And that path requires solitude. Let your disappearance be a declaration, a quiet promise to yourself that says, I refuse to return the same. You're not hiding from the world. You're preparing to meet it as someone they've never seen before. Growth seasons often feel like silence. No applause, no signs, just effort. But trust it, because what feels invisible now will soon become undeniable later. It's okay if no one checks on you during this season. Let that be a lesson. Your growth isn't dependent on their support. It's built on your own commitment, your own choices, and your own reasons to keep going. You didn't leave to run away. You left to rise. You stepped back not to fade, but to sharpen your focus, heal your wounds, and fuel the fire inside you. And now that fire burns brighter than ever. You'll notice the difference when you return, not just in how others treat you, but in how you treat yourself. You'll have clearer boundaries, sharper priorities, and a deeper respect for the version of you who never gave up. This season of silence isn't wasted. It's the foundation for the future you're building. It's the space you needed to finally hear your own voice, and let that voice lead your transformation. Don't rush back into the spotlight. Stay hidden a little longer if you must, because the longer you grow in private, the more powerful your return becomes. Power takes time, and you're giving it time. You're becoming the kind of person who doesn't need to explain their absence. They just show up, transformed. And the shift is so real, no one questions it. That's the reward for staying disciplined while unseen. There's no pressure in the shadows, only freedom. the freedom to fail, to fix, to rebuild, to refine. That's what most people never get, because they're too busy performing to actually grow. Let them think you gave up. Let them believe you disappeared. What they don't know is that in silence, you discovered power. And now, you're not just coming back, you're coming back different. You won't need to talk about what you did. Your eyes will say it. Your energy will say it. Your results will scream it. Because real transformation leaves signs that can't be faked and can't be ignored. You'll walk differently after this, not with arrogance, but with certainty, because you've seen your own strength. You've rebuilt from within, and now no noise can shake what silence helped you create. Disappearing gave you time to ask deeper questions. Who are you without the crowd, without the attention? And now that you know, you return with clarity, purpose, and peace most people will never reach. Let the new version of you speak through movement, not words. You don't need to convince anyone. Just show up, fully aligned, fully focused, fully transformed. That's how you shift the room without ever raising your voice. And when they ask, "Where have you been?" just smile. Because the truth is, you were never gone. You were just busy becoming someone they wouldn't recognize. Until now. Chapter 15. Don't compete. Outwork silently. You don't need to compete when you're committed. Let others chase each other. Let them compare. You're not here to win a race you never entered. You're here to outlast them all with quiet, consistent work. Real success doesn't come from beating others. It comes from mastering yourself, from doing the work when no one's watching, from showing up every single day, not to impress, but to improve. Competing makes you reactive. Outworking makes you powerful. While they're focused on what you're doing, you're focused on becoming better than you were yesterday. That's how you win without ever looking sideways. The loudest person isn't always the most successful. Often, it's the most distracted. Stay in your lane. Build in silence. Let your focus become so intense that the noise of competition fades away completely. You don't need to talk about how hard you're working. Just keep working. The results will say what words can't. The quiet hours, the late nights, the repetition. That's what separates you from the rest. The ones who brag are often trying to convince themselves. But when you outwork silently, you don't need to convince anyone. You're already becoming. And soon, the world will notice without you saying a word. Focus isn't built through comparison. It's built through discipline. The more you concentrate on your own growth, the less time you waste measuring it against others. And that's where true power begins. Let them rush. Let them show off. You stay steady. You stay locked in. Because your goal isn't to win a moment. It's to build something that lasts far beyond the spotlight. Every second spent watching someone else is a second you could have used to sharpen yourself. Switch your attention inward. That's where the gold is. That's where your next level lives. You don't owe anyone updates. Your only job is to keep becoming. Let others wonder what you're doing. Your silence will make them curious, but your results will make them respect you. The ones who outwork in silence don't get caught up in ego. They don't need validation. They don't care who's ahead, because they know staying consistent beats showing off every single time. Work quietly, not because you're weak, but because you're dangerous when focused. Let your discipline be your edge. Let your patience be your fuel. That kind of energy is rare and unstoppable. Some people train to be seen. Others train to be ready. Be the second type, the one who doesn't care about attention, only about preparation. Because readiness wins when pressure shows up. You don't need to sprint when you've mastered the marathon. Longevity comes from slow, silent, steady work. That's how you keep rising long after others have burned out. If you outwork the competition, you don't need to chase them. You'll pass them without noticing, not because you were trying to, but because your focus never left your own lane. Outworking silently gives you peace. You're not distracted. You're not reactive. You're calm. You're building at your own pace. And that pace is perfect for the life you're designing. Let others compete for attention. You're competing for mastery. You're chasing precision, not popularity. And that's why your wins will echo long after the noise fades. Competing is short-term. Becoming is forever. Choose to become. Choose to put in the reps no one sees. Because those are the reps that build the kind of success no one can shake. You won't need to explain your progress. Just keep showing up. Keep stacking wins behind the scenes. And one day, your life will speak so clearly, even your silence will be respected. You're not racing anyone. You're refining yourself. You're doing the kind of work that doesn't trend, but transforms. That's what outworking silently creates, unshakable results. When you finally rise, it won't be luck. It won't be hype. It'll be proof that quiet effort compounds. That doing the work without talking about it is the loudest move you could ever make. So stop competing, start building, stay silent, stay disciplined, because the real flex isn't being louder than everyone else. It's outworking them so quietly, they never saw you coming. Don't let the world pressure you to perform. Let it push you to prepare. Every quiet hour spent sharpening your skills builds a version of you that doesn't need to talk. It simply moves with purpose and results. You weren't built to chase trends. You were built to build legacy. And legacies aren't created in noise. They're built in quiet corners, where no one's clapping, but the work is getting done anyway. While others are distracted by who's watching them, you're getting sharper, more efficient, more consistent. And that consistency is your superpower. It's how you pass them without making a sound. If you want to go far, stop trying to impress. Start trying to improve. Every little habit, every focused effort, every quiet sacrifice, those are the bricks that build unshakable success. Silent work holds real weight. It doesn't need performance. It doesn't need permission. It just builds, stacks, grows, until one day it reveals something so powerful no one can ignore it. Comparison is a thief of joy and of progress. Don't get distracted by what they're doing. Keep your head down. Keep your hands working. Let the results prove your discipline without you ever needing to look sideways. They may not notice you now, but they will when it's too late to catch up, because while they were trying to look good, you were getting great. And greatness doesn't need to compete. It just keeps rising. Real winners don't rush. They don't brag. They don't chase. They outlast. They outfocus. They outdiscipline everyone too distracted by the spotlight to actually grow. Your growth is personal. It doesn't need a rival. It doesn't need a race. Just time, focus, and a promise to keep showing up, even when no one's checking on you. You don't need their pace. You don't need their goals. You need your own system, your own rhythm, and your own reason to keep going long after others have quit. Silent outworking builds confidence that can't be faked. You don't need to convince people when your life starts showing what your silence was creating all along. Let your process be boring. Let it be unflashy, because boring work, done consistently, creates extraordinary outcomes, and the world will call it talent. But you'll know it was silent effort. You won't get credit for the early days, for the hours when you were exhausted, but showed up anyway. But one day, the results of those moments will become undeniable proof of your mindset, Don't announce your grind, protect it. Don't post your goals, work on them. Keep your momentum sacred. The less you speak of it, the more it grows, uninterrupted and real. There is no traffic in your own lane. Everyone's trying to one-up each other. But when you stop playing the game and start building your own world, you realize you were never competing at all. If they're watching you, let them. But don't watch them back. Your vision is too valuable to be distracted. Your energy is too rare to be wasted. Eyes forward, steps quiet. Work loud, just not with noise. Be the person who shows up when it's hard, when it's cold, when it's lonely. Because that kind of discipline doesn't just win, it transforms. It turns ordinary people into unstoppable forces. Don't match their energy. Manage yours. They'll burn out chasing recognition. You'll last by chasing refinement. That's the long game. That's the game the silent builders win. Keep building in silence so that one day you walk into rooms you never posted about and own them with a presence you never had to promote. You were never meant to compete. You were meant to create. Create a path so focused, so consistent, so elevated that it becomes impossible to compare because no one else is even close. Chapter 16. Let the silence build the power they'll never see coming. The most dangerous power is the one no one sees coming. It's built in silence. It grows behind the scenes. While everyone else is chasing attention, you're cultivating strength that can't be measured by likes, applause, or views. You don't need to be loud to be powerful. You need to be focused. Every day you choose silence over noise, you grow more unstoppable. You're not broadcasting your progress. You're becoming the kind of person who doesn't need to. Let others announce their plans. Let them show off every small win. You keep stacking, building, refining. Because when silence is your strategy, surprise becomes your weapon, and no one is ready for the person you're becoming. Power built in silence is the kind that lasts. It isn't shaken by opinions. It isn't broken by rejection. It's rooted in truth, effort, and discipline. And that kind of power doesn't fade when the lights go off. People will wonder how you did it, how you got so strong, so focused, so unshakable. But you'll know it was the silence, the quiet nights, the lonely hours, the invisible progress no one saw coming. In silence, you hear what others miss. You feel what others avoid. You learn who you are without distractions. That's the space where real growth begins and where real power is born. Let them underestimate you. That's part of the plan. Let them think you've stopped, that you're stuck, that you've faded. Meanwhile, you're in the shadows building something they could never imagine. You don't have to explain your silence. You don't have to defend your distance. The ones who matter will feel the energy shift when you return. The rest won't matter when your results speak. Your silence is not weakness. It's protection. It's preservation. It's the shield that keeps your process sacred. And when you're finally ready to rise, that shield will turn into a spotlight no one expected. They think success requires constant noise, constant proving, constant performance. But you know better. You know silence isn't emptiness. It's energy gathering strength before it explodes. Build so quietly they forget you were ever trying. Then show up with results so powerful they wonder how they never saw it coming. That's how you win, by doing the work when no one's watching. There's no pressure in silence. No need to impress. Just pure effort, pure focus, pure movement. And over time, that quiet work becomes undeniable force. The ones who build in silence don't seek revenge. They seek results. They don't speak on what they're about to do. They just do it. And when it's done, It needs no introduction. You don't have to be seen to be building. Some of the greatest changes happen in solitude. When the noise is gone and it's just you and your commitment to a better version of yourself. Let your transformation surprise them. Let it make them pause. Let it shift their view of you. Not because you changed for them, but because you finally became the version of you that was always waiting to rise. Silence builds pressure, and pressure builds power. And when that pressure is finally released, through action, through success, through transformation, it speaks louder than any speech you could give. Don't be afraid to be overlooked. That's your advantage. The less they expect, the more room you have to build without interference. And when you arrive, your presence alone will rewrite their expectations. Keep moving quietly. Keep creating without applause. The best part of silent growth is that no one can copy it. It's yours, earned in moments no one saw, built with choices no one tracked. There's a reason you feel called to be quiet right now, to focus, to separate. It's because something bigger is coming, and silence is the soil where strength is born. When the world sees who you've become, they'll think it happened fast. But you'll know the truth, that the real work happened in seasons of silence, struggle, and unseen sacrifice. You are the storm they didn't prepare for, the fire they didn't feel coming, and it was silence that made you that way. Silence that trained you, built you, strengthened you. And now, you no longer need to be loud. So let the silence build your power. Let it mold you into something no one expected, but no one will be able to ignore. Because when it's time, you won't just arrive. You'll take over, quietly, completely, and without warning. The strongest voices are often the ones you never hear coming. They don't shout. They don't show off. They move with purpose. They prepare in silence so that when the time comes, their presence speaks louder than any performance ever could. You don't need to post every win. You don't need to validate your grind. True power is internal. It grows in the quiet, where distractions die and focus takes over. That's where you're becoming dangerous. There's no need to react when you're already rising. You're not here to prove anything. You're here to become undeniable. And the silence you're protecting right now is shaping a future that's built on strength, not noise. Let your life be your message, not your updates, not your replies. Let your results interrupt the noise, because when the foundation is built in silence, the outcome echoes louder than any announcement. You're not hiding, you're evolving. You're not avoiding the spotlight. You're making sure that when it finds you, you're ready. Ready to hold it, ready to own it, ready to carry everything that comes with it. When you don't rush, you build right. And when you build right, you rise unshakable. Let them chase recognition. You chase readiness. Let them seek praise. You seek preparation. Every quiet step you take is one closer to the breakthrough they won't be ready for. Because you're not sprinting for attention. You're walking with power. And that walk is built in silence. Your power is growing in ways you can't even see yet. Trust it. Let the work build. Let your focus deepen. This version of you is forming without needing an audience. And that's why it's so real. They'll say you came out of nowhere, but you didn't. You came from late nights, early mornings, and sacrifices no one documented. The silence was your birthplace. The grind was your armor. Silence isn't a pause, it's a plan. Every day you stay locked in, you're rewriting your story. Without noise, without approval. Just raw, disciplined energy pointing towards something far bigger than yourself. Let them speak. Let them guess. That's their distraction. Yours is growth. Quiet, solid, and unstoppable. Because the best revenge is never words. It's a life that makes them speechless. You don't need to clap back. You don't need to defend your journey. Let the transformation handle that. Let the glow speak. Let the peace you now carry silence the ones who used to doubt you. Most people are too loud to listen. But you've learned that silence sharpens your senses. It strengthens your spirit. It teaches you what really matters. And that's why your next move will hit different. You're not looking to be first. You're looking to last. And lasting success is never built with noise. It's built in quiet seasons, in overlooked hours, in the lonely discipline of those who never stopped building. Let your future self be proud that you didn't need the crowd, that you didn't fall for the pressure to be seen too early, that you stayed in the shadows long enough to rise with real strength. Nothing about this process is easy, but everything about it is worth it. Because the kind of power you're building now can't be taken away. It wasn't borrowed. It wasn't faked. It was earned in silence. The silence has taught you patience. It's taught you humility. It's shown you that not every season is meant to be shared. Some are just for you, your purpose, and the quiet road toward greatness. Your strength now comes from your stillness. Your clarity comes from your quiet. You've stopped reacting and started refining. And that shift is what makes you unstoppable. Let the silence protect you until you're ready to move. And when you move like someone who didn't skip a single step. Like someone who was forged, not found. That's the power they'll never see coming. You're almost there. Keep going. Keep building. Keep trusting the silence, because one day your story won't begin with once upon a time. It will begin with they didn't see it coming. There's something sacred about the work you do alone. No cameras, no witnesses, just you, your effort, and the quiet. That's where the strongest version of you is being built, without noise, without applause, without anyone knowing. You're not trying to shock the world. You're trying to shape yourself. And when that transformation is complete, the world will feel it. Not because you announced it, but because it's impossible to ignore. You are proof that silence isn't emptiness. It's focus. It's the moment before the launch, the breath before the leap, the unseen effort that makes the future undeniable. Every quiet hour you've put in is compounding. The early mornings, the invisible effort, the unnoticed discipline. It's all stacking, silently preparing to unleash something powerful and permanent. Don't seek confirmation from those who don't see the vision. Let your results be the only conversation. Your silence isn't avoiding the world. It's building something the world isn't ready for yet. It's easy to chase attention. It's harder to chase depth. But the ones who choose depth, who choose process over praise, they're the ones who walk into the spotlight unshakable when it's finally time. Let them gossip. Let them watch. Let them assume you've stopped. They don't realize you've just started taking yourself seriously, started building with intention, started becoming untouchable. You're not out to prove people wrong. You're out to prove your promise to yourself was real. And that promise is being fulfilled one silent step at a time, away from noise, away from ego, closer to truth. What's being built now doesn't need validation. It needs consistency. And that's exactly what you're giving it. Quiet, focused, relentless consistency. The kind that builds empires behind closed doors. They won't believe it until they see it. Good. Let them wait. Because when they finally see it, you'll already be too far ahead to explain how it happened. That's what quiet work does. It creates distance. Keep sharpening while they're showing off. Keep growing while they're guessing. You're not late. You're strategic. You're not behind. You're building momentum that no one can interrupt. Silence forces you to face yourself, and in doing so, you find your power. You're no longer distracted, no longer influenced, just aligned, deliberate, and on a mission no one else needs to understand. When you build quietly, you build cleanly. No ego, no pressure, just truth. And that truth becomes the foundation of a life that can't be shaken by anyone's noise. Don't let visibility rush your process. You're not a brand, you're a becoming. And the more space you give yourself to grow privately, the more powerful your emergence will be. Your silence is separating you from average, from distraction, from expectation. It's uncomfortable now, but it's shaping you into something rare, and rare always rises. There's a calm that comes when you no longer need to be seen. When your identity isn't tied to praise. When your worth is measured by effort, not attention. That's the kind of calm that turns into power. Stay invisible until you're undeniable. Stay hidden until you're healed. Stay grounded until you're fully grown. Because when it's time to show up, there won't be a doubt that you've arrived for real. Let the world talk. Let them chase each other. You're building quietly, powerfully, fearlessly. And when you step out, it won't be to impress. It'll be to lead. Everything you're doing now is preparation for a future that doesn't just look good. It feels real. It was earned. It was fought for. And that feeling only comes when the power was built in silence. So keep going. Keep working. Keep choosing silence. Because when it's time, your presence will speak with force, and the world won't see it coming. But they'll never forget that it came. You don't need the spotlight to become powerful. You don't need applause to make progress. Your results will speak, but only if you stay consistent in silence. Let others waste time proving. You keep building, because in the end, it won't be your words that show who you are. It'll be your work. Stay focused. Stay quiet. Stay dangerous. Your success will make the loudest noise.